Hello Year 1, we're starting off today's lesson with a flashback 4. First thing we need to do is to work out which number is represented by the 10 frames. And then we can move on to answering the 4 questions here. I'll read through all of the questions now and then give you some time to answer them yourselves. So question 1 says there are something groups of something cookies. For the first part, you need to count how many groups there are, and then for the second part, how many cookies there are in each group. Question 2 says 1 red bucket fills 4 yellow buckets. How many red buckets will it take to fill 8 yellow buckets? Question 3, the train is something cubes long. So you're looking at the length of the train and then counting how many cubes long it is. Question 4, what is 2 more than 6? And for this one, you need to remember to write your number as a word. So if you pause the video now to give you some time to answer them, I'm now going to go through the answers. Looking at the 10 frames, we've got a complete 10 frame here with a value of 10, and then we have another 10 here, so 20, and then 1, 2, 3. Altogether, it has a value of 23. Question 1, there are 2 groups of 1, 2, 3, 4 cookies. Question 2, how many red buckets will it take to fill 8 yellow buckets? We know that these 4 yellow buckets here will be filled by 1 red bucket, and these 4 will be filled by another red bucket. So 2 red buckets will fill the 8 yellow buckets. Question 3, the train is 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes long. And finally, number 4, what is 2 more than 6? We put 6 in our head and then count on 2. So 7, 8. For today's lesson, we're finding a half of a quantity or an amount. And for our anchor, we're going to think back to last week when we were finding 1/2 of a shape. And remember that 1/2 is one of 2 equal parts. So here with the rectangle, we've got 2 equal parts and just 1 part has been coloured in. So that is representing a half. Here with the triangle, we've got 2 parts, but the pink part is much bigger than the white part, so it is not representing a half. With the circle, we've got 2 parts which are the same, so that is representing a half. With the heart, we've got 2 parts, but they are not equal, so that one doesn't. With the hexagon, we've got 2 parts which are equal, and the same with the square. But finally here with the star, that's just a whole. It's not been split into any parts. Here we are finding 1/2 of a quantity. And the quantity we're starting off with here is 10 bees. So we're going to be looking to find 1/2 of 10. And we're going to do that by sharing the 10 bees equally between two groups. So when we're sharing it out, we have to make sure that we're doing it fairly. Okay, so we've shared all of the bees out between the two groups, and 10 shared into two equal groups is, to find the answer to that, we just count how many bees there are in one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we know that half of 10 is 5. We only count how many there are in one group when we're finding a half, because we're just looking for one part. This time we've got to circle half of the apples. And we can see that they're arranged in an array of rows and columns. So when I'm finding a half, I could share them between the two groups, like we did in the last example, but here, because they're arranged nicely, it's easier to see what one half would be. Before we circle a half, we need to work out what we're starting with. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of 6 is, I'm just going to circle one row and then count how many I've got in my group. 1, 2, 3. So half of 6 is 3. This time I've got to circle half of the crabs, and I need to first of all count how many I'm starting with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm looking to find half of 14. And because of the way the crabs have been arranged in this array, I'm just going to circle one column. I can easily see that that is one half. Okay, and then I need to count how many is in this group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I know that half of 14 is 7. Now I've got to circle half of the cubes. So again, let's see how many we've got to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to circle half. So I could circle one half by just circling a row, or I might want to circle it this way. Doesn't matter which way you do it, because either way you're circling one half of 12. Okay, and then to find the answer we need to count how many there is in the group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This time we've got a reasoning question. So we've got 2 children and each child has drawn 4 clouds. And they both think that they've coloured in half of the clouds and we need to decide who is correct. So if we start up here, this girl has coloured in 2 clouds, so 2 of the 4 clouds. We know that 2 is half of 4, so she has coloured in half. Now the little boy has also coloured in 2. Now he's coloured in a different 2 than the girl, but it doesn't matter because we know that 2 is half of 4. So it doesn't matter which ones you colour in, as long as you colour in 2. So they are both correct. Okay, for this question it says, if this is half of the ants, how many are there altogether? So we started off with a number which was halved, and that's given us 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to work out how many ants we started off with. So to do that, we need to add another 4 ants. Now this will tell us what number we began with. So let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We started off with 8, and then we halved 8, so we took 4 away, and we were left with 1, 2, 3, 4. So half of 8 is 4. Okay, for this question, Mary thinks she has coloured in half of the squares. Do you agree? So she's coloured in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. Now, because of the way Mary's coloured the squares in, it's not that obvious as to whether it's half or not. But if I was to also colour in 8, you can see a bit more clearly now that that is half of the square. And to check, I'm going to count how many squares there are altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I know that 8 is half of 16. So she is correct. So do I agree? Yes, because 8 is half of 16. But we've proved it by drawing Mary's squares in a slightly different way. So here we've got some practice questions for you to try. And as always, there's the White Rose video on the White Rose website. And then there are some silver, gold and platinum challenges for you to try as well.